I thought I was leaving home to serve my country. I never imagined that I was walking straight into a nightmare. I shouldn't have entered that school. The moment I walked through those gates, I realized something terrifying. None of the people inside were alive. They tell you that NYSC is a time to serve your country. They tell you it's a year of growth, but they never tell you about the places Nigeria forgot. They never tell you about the schools where the bell still rings, even though everyone inside died decades ago. My name is Nancy, and this is how I became a ghost before I was even dead. It all started when I was posted to a remote village for my primary assignment. I was assigned to a government secondary school. On my first day, as I walked past the principal's office, I noticed a decaying rusted concrete structure at the far end of the street. It looked like an old primary school block, completely swallowed by bushes. I casually asked the senior staff about the primary school block. The reaction was instant. The laughter stopped. The teacher I was talking to grabbed my arm. His grip uncomfortably tight. Teacher whispered, "Copper, listen to me. Never look at that building. Never walk past it after 6 p.m. That place was shut down years ago. A bad incident happened there. Investigators went in to find out what happened. They never came out. Even the students disappeared. Just do your service and go home in one piece." I didn't believe him. I'm an educated city girl. I don't believe in village juju or old superstitions. I laughed it off, but the village wasn't done with me. Every morning, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. to pray, and that's when it started. On the third day of my stay, a low rumble shook my room. I looked out the window. Through the thick morning fog, an old rusty school bus was driving down the empty street. It stopped right in front of the abandoned primary school. I froze. The teacher's warning flashed through my mind. Someone claimed to have seen a bus early in the morning. The person went missing. But curiosity is a disease. The next morning, it came again. This time, I didn't stay in my room. I walked out to the veranda. The bus doors flooded open. I squinted through the fog, looking at the passenger's window. Terror turned into madness. Why was my face on that bus? I couldn't stop myself. I ran after it. I secretly followed the vehicle as it turned into the overgrown, rusty gates of the abandoned primary school. The fog swallowed us whole. The place was dead. Rusty sheets of zinc rattled in the wind. Dust laid thick like blankets on the floor. It looked haunted, a tomb of concrete. I walked down the dark corridor, following the scent of an old paper rot. But as I passed the first classroom, the atmosphere shifted. Suddenly, a bell rang out of nowhere. It shattered the silence. I gasped. The empty classroom was suddenly full. Dozens of children sat in the dust. They didn't move. They didn't breathe. They just stared at the blackboard with hollow eyes. It was break time. A little girl in the front row pulled out a beautifully packed lunchbox. It was filled with meat pies, scotch egg, hot goat meat pepper soup, and pounded yam. But before she could eat, the teacher stalked over. Her shadow fell over the girl like a shroud.
"What do we have here?"
Just my lunch, ma'am.
"Let me see."
The little girl wept. She clutched the box to her chest, trying to resist. The moment she cried, every single student in the room slammed their eyes shut. They were terrified. I stood at the door, paralyzed. I didn't understand what type of nightmare I was looking at. I had been there for what felt like hours, then days.
"Mingidi, Mangidi, here you go. Eat the food so you go."
My stomach was screaming. The hunger was driving me mad. The food smelled like heaven. It was the most attractive thing I had ever seen. My hand moved on its own, reaching for the plate. I just wanted one bite.
Tonight.
But right before my fingers touched the food, I looked at the little girl. She wasn't just crying anymore. She was looking at me with pure heartbreak. It was like a warning. If I ate that food, I would never leave. Her loud sob broke the hypnotic spell. I snapped out of it. I pulled my hand back and screamed, "No!" I turned to run for the exit, but the universe twisted. The building shook violently. The walls cracked. When I reached the front door, it was gone. There was only solid concrete. I was trapped. I lost count of the resets. Time had no meaning, but every single time the loop ended, I woke up back at the wooden decks. I was losing my mind, becoming a ghost in my own body. Finally, during a quiet moment where the classroom emptied out, I crept over to the little girl. I knelt on the cold, bare floor beside her. I didn't feel fear anymore, just a desperate, hollow exhaustion. "Talk to me, please. I saw what happened. I've seen it 100 times. What is this place? Why are we trapped here?" Then the little girl responded, "The juju. My family made it. We needed to stop the teacher from taking my food. The old man who prepared the medicine gave a perfect instruction. The teacher must eat every bite of the food. And if anyone tastes it, the ritual fractures, and the spirit of everyone close by will be trapped in the rot forever." But on the first day, the teacher got full. She left a little bit at the bottom and walked out. I didn't know Tunde was starving. He snuck into the lunchbox when my back was turned. I caught him. I screamed at him to stop, but it was too late. He swallowed it. He broke the condition. The curse triggered instantly. It snapped the world shut around us. It trapped our spirits here. Now we are stuck in this loop. Every day, she leaves the leftover. Every day, Tunde is driven by supernatural hunger to eat them. Every day, we die, and every morning, it resets. After hearing all this, I thought I could fix it. I thought I could save them. The next loop, the moment the teacher walked out, I lunged from my desk. I grabbed Tunde by his uniform, pulled him back with all my strength. But the moment I interfered, the air in the room turned into liquid lead. Tunde began to weep, a primal, terrifying sound of pure, unadulterated starvation that pierced my skull like hot needles. The juju was like a medicine, and they demanded its sequence. The little boy began to convulse on the floor, his body withering right before my eyes. He was dying from the spiritual feedback. I had to let go. Tunde ate the food. The world blacked out. The invisible force threw me like a rag doll. My spine collided with the wall, and the world dissolved into blackness once more. Loop after loop. Failure after failure. I tried hiding the lunchbox. I tried blocking the doors. I tried screaming for help. But the curse always won. Tunde always ate. The transformation always triggered, and the nightmare always reset. I was broken. I sat at my desk on what felt like the 100th loop, my limbs heavy as iron. I was so tired. I wanted to just close my eyes, give up, and let the darkness claim me permanently. I was ready to become part of the rot. But right as my eyelids grew heavy, a spark of pure fire ignited in my chest. I remembered my mother's voice. I remembered the life I had left behind. And I remembered the accident, the twisted metal, the screeching tires, the lives that were cut short on that asphalt. I had survived that horrific crash. I hadn't survived a real-world tragedy just to be digested by a village curse in a phantom classroom. A different kind of spirit entered my bone. The exhaustion vanished. This had to end. It had to end today. I didn't look at Tunde. I didn't try to stop the hungry boy. I went straight for the source of the curse. I went for the teacher. She fought back with supernatural, monstrous strength. Her talons tore into my flesh, freezing my blood. The classroom went wild. Decks flew through the air. The roof began to tear away, and the wind howled like 1,000 demons. My grip was slipping. The juju was overpowering me. I couldn't hold her alone. I screamed, "I need help! Help me!" Then, a miracle happened. The little girl leaped onto the decks. The terror was gone from her eyes. With a fierce cry, she pinned the teacher's head back, locking her jaws open. Together, the living and the dead fought the monster. She swallowed, and with that final bite, the contract was complete. The sequence was closed. The teacher let out an inhuman shriek that tore the air apart, her body fracturing before dissolving into nothing but black ash. The wind died. The chaos vanished. Sinking to my knees, I looked up at the desk. The little girl stood there, bathed in a strange, clean sight. She looked at me, and for the very first time, she smiled. A smile of pure, quiet gratitude. She faded into a white mist, and across the room, Tunde and the others faded away with her. They were finally free from the loop. The debt was paid. I looked down at my hands. I gasped, dropping the bowl in absolute horror. The food I had been forcing down the teacher's throat, the food that had looked so delicious, so golden, so intoxicating attractive, was gone. In its place, filling the shattered bowl, was a writhing, living mass of black maggots and rotten filth. The beautiful feast was a demonic trick. I had been handling pure putrefaction. I scrambled backward, dry heaving, desperately trying to scrape the invincible filth off my skin. But as I hit the wall, I realized the concrete was gone. The exit was open. The loop was broken. And out there, through that rust and the bushes, past the forgotten gates of the school, I could hear the real world waiting for me. I could hear my mother's voice calling me back to life. I ran, and I never looked back.